Hey guys, it's Allie. Thanks to those of you that viewed my first two videos. I want this video to focus on Spider-Man Homecoming since it's the first, not the first, the most recent superhero comic book movie to come out recently from Marvel. So just a warning, I am going to include certain things from the movie, spoilers and stuff like that people may not want to know about. So if you're going to continue watching this video, just be aware that there are things from the movie that you might not want to know yet if you haven't seen it, or not aware of if you haven't seen it yet. So just be aware of that. So overall, we enjoyed this movie. You know, Marvel movies are always enjoyable to watch. They're funny. They're enjoyable movies to watch. And this was an enjoyable Marvel movie to watch. But there were some things that I thought kind of fell short, were a little bit disappointing. I know that there are a ton of Spider-Man fans out there. So the fact that Spider-Man was finally going to be joining the MCU for a while at least is exciting for a lot of, especially Spider-Man fans that want him to be part of the Avengers and everything. And I thought that it was cool that they brought him into Civil War and everything. So after seeing this Spider-Man in Civil War, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he was just a total, I don't want to use that word, but he was a really good Spider-Man in Civil War. He was a bleep, if you know what I mean. He was really skilled in Civil War. It didn't seem like he struggled or fumbled around to use his skills, his powers. It seemed like he had been doing it like he had mastered his skills by the time that Tony recruited him for Civil War. That's what it seemed like in Civil War. So I kind of expected it to be the same way in Homecoming, since like the part of the movie that takes place after Civil War, it just seemed like it was the opposite. It seemed like the way he was in a lot of the movie was the way he would be in an origin movie, when he's just gaining his powers, when he's just realizing what he can do, when he's trying to master them. And I thought that was a little off. I could be wrong about the timeline, but I'm pretty sure I remember most of the movie takes place after Civil War, so I don't really realize why they took that route. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I felt about it. Also, I wish he would have relied a little less on all the tech that Tony put into his suit. I realized that he was kind of figuring out along the way all the stuff that was included in his suit that Tony had put for him. So I guess, that was part of it. But at the same time, like the other Spider-Mans, they made their own web shooters, well, Andrew Garfield's did. I know that they showed this Spider-Man, like mixing the web liquid or whatever in school, so okay, that's fine. But it just seemed like, like he didn't have a Spidey sense, unless he did, and he didn't really play up on it, but it didn't seem like he did like the other Spider-Mans, and I like that about the other Spider-Mans, that they have a Spidey sense. So my little one heard me talking about Spider-Man, so of course he wanted to see what was going on over here. But I think that he relied on the suit a lot, and that the other Spider-Man movies, he didn't have all that. So he relied on his skills, on his powers, on his Spidey sense, like I said. And I feel like that was just, I understand they were doing something different, and this is the MCU Spider-Man, and that's fine. That's just how I felt about it. I think his suit was cool, all the stuff it had in it and everything, but, sorry, just seemed like he relied on it a lot. And he was still kind of struggling to skillfully use his powers for some reason. I don't know why. And also, in the other Spider-Man movies, I liked that whoever his love interest was, whether it was Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, I realized that they had to use different characters in this movie because they only have rights to so many, because of the whole rights thing with Sony and everything. But I like that he saved his love interest, whoever it was, like more than once in the movie, and the other little one went apart too. I understand that Liz in this movie, like, he was really into her, and I mean, they made that obvious, but it didn't seem like she was as, I don't know, maybe they just didn't develop her character enough. I don't know what it was, but I like that in the other Spider-Man movies that he saved her, you know, on more than one occasion. And then in this movie, he saved her, but it was like with a group of other people, which is fine. But I don't know. I just think those are some of the things that fell short in the movie. I really like Vulture. I thought he was a good villain. I think Michael Keaton did a great job as a villain. He was good casting. That was a really good cast for the Vulture. And so I liked that about the movie. That was a plus. The humor was, you know, just like any other Marvel movie, I think. Of course, you expect Spider-Man to be humorous and, you know, kind of be sarcastic and stuff when he's, you know, trying to take out some bank robbers and stuff like that. So I think that he did that pretty well. So overall, I liked the movie. I just wish that maybe he wouldn't have relied so much on Stark Tech. And I realized, okay, at one point in the movie, he does get his suit taken away and he has to use his like makeshift homemade suit. That's, you know, and I like the part, spoiler alert, where, you know, he's fighting the Vulture and he gets like a big piece of like cement or building or whatever on him, so he has to lift himself up and he has to remember who he is, that he's Spider-Man. And, you know, at first he's asking for help and yelling for help to get out and everything, and then he realizes, he remembers who he is. And, you know, just because he doesn't have that suit, that he's still Spider-Man. And I did like that part. I felt like that was an emotional part that, for once in a Marvel movie, did not get ruined with humor. And, I'm not trying to be biased, but I feel like a lot of the more, you know, the deeper, more emotional moments in Marvel movies, a lot of times they get ruined with like an unnecessary humor moment. And I like that this part of the movie was just an emotional part of the movie, showing Peter's emotion, showing that he knows he's Spider-Man and he's strong. And I like that part of the movie. So I also like that at the very end of the movie, credits and everything, that Vulture, when he's in prison, he did not give away Spider-Man's identity. I liked that too. And also, speaking of Vulture, the big twist, I like the big twist of the movie that Vulture is Liz's dad. I definitely did not see that coming. When Peter goes to pick up Liz for the homecoming dance, when he goes to pick her up, they're just too interested in what's going on over here. But that's okay, I want him to be involved. Anyway, that big twist where Peter goes to pick up Liz for the homecoming dance, and lo and behold, who answers the door but Vulture. So that was a really cool twist that I was not expecting. And the dynamic between them when he enters the house, and, you know, at first Vulture doesn't realize who Peter is, but Peter knows who he is, and it's just like he's just tense, and, you know, and then of course Liz starts giving away you know, all these clues to let Vulture, so that Vulture figures out who he is in the car on the way to the dance. And I don't know, that was a cool moment. And then Vulture just turns totally dark after when Liz goes into the dance and tells Peter what he will do to him if he continues to interfere with his dealings. So I thought I really liked that about the villain of the movie. The thing I didn't so much like about the villain of the movie was that he was, how do I put it? He, like the other Spider-Man villains, I feel like were out to get Spider-Man in a way. Like, you know, this villain wasn't, he was out to get him sort of once he realized that Peter was interfering and trying to stop what he was doing. But other than that, he was kind of just like stealing stuff, which I don't know. I guess I don't know, but I feel like the other villains were more focused on, like, their purpose was to defeat Spider-Man, and I don't feel like that was really the purpose of this villain. Which, okay, this is a different Spider-Man movie. They went a different route, which is totally fine. Like I said, it's still a good movie and I enjoyed it. But I feel like if a villain, I feel like the villain's purpose in a superhero movie is to defeat that superhero, and I don't feel like that was this villain's purpose in the movie, or his goal. But you know, I'm not gonna be too nitpicky. It was a good movie. I just hope that from now on, whatever movies, you know, Infinity War, Spider-Man sequel, I just feel like he should be more skilled or be better at using his skills instead of seeming like he's a rookie. Because, I mean, if they were going to go that route, then they should have depicted it that way in Civil War, because that was his first appearance in the MCU. But since they made it seem like he was a really seasoned Spider-Man, even though he's only like 15, they seemed like he really had mastered his skills at that time. So hopefully in future movies where he makes an appearance and when he's, you know, in his sequel and everything, I just hope that maybe he's not struggling so much to use his powers. And so that's the main thing I would like to see in future MCU Spider-Man. So that's just what I thought of it. It's a good movie. No movie is perfect, and so I'm looking forward to seeing him again in Infinity Wars and, you know, the Spider-Man sequel. So let me know what you guys thought of Spider-Man Homecoming, and let me know what other movies you'd like me to talk about also in future videos. Even if they're movies that have already come out, have been out for a while. I want to get this channel going, so I don't mind making videos about movies that have come out, you know, earlier in the year or even before that. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.